All right, ladies and gents. So stick with the warm up, same kind of format. I'll probably start with a little bit of announcement type stuff on these. Obviously, I want you to try out and see if you can do this problem. Um, what we've got for these 2 days, so Thursday and or Friday, we're looking at warm up. Then we're looking at if you need to get help, I got the Google Meets set up. You can click those links at the times for your class. Hop in if you have questions. If questions on the review, just any general questions over 2627, and I can answer those. Then you should take the quiz. And then the other assignment for the day, because again, remember, it's 2 days worth of work. The other assignment is to do the Chapter 2 test review, which is on the Savvis site. And I pretty much picked problems that go directly with the problems you're going to see on the test. And again, the test is the following day of class, which is either Monday or Tuesday for you. And yeah, that's it. So let's go ahead and get into this warm up. So if you haven't tried it yet, pause it, try it out, see if you can solve it. All right, so you can go a lot of routes with this. So when it just says solve, you can really solve any method you want. But pretty much no matter what you're going to want to do, or so no matter what you're going to do, you do want to get it into standard form in most all cases. You could put this in your y equals and do both parts. But I'm going to kind of show a few different routes and so you can kind of get a full understanding of this. So if I move this over to the other side, I would just add the 5 over, and it looks like this. So now it's in standard form. I always like to try to factor first. A is 1. I'm like, okay, cool. But there's no factors of 5. C would be 5. There's no factors of 5 that are ever going to add to -7. So I can't factor. At that point, quadratic formula is a good route to go. Graphing is the other good route, and I'll show you both. And again, you can do either or in this case as far as getting to your answer. Quadratic formula has the plus of it does let you get the exact answer. It's also valuable if there's imaginary answers. So that's why I like to do it. So you got the formula sheet. So, it's the formula is -b, so it's going to be the opposite of this. So that'll be 7 plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Okay, so it looks like this. And now we just need to simplify that out. So we got plus or minus. In our root, we're going to have 49 minus 20 over 2. So that's going to be 7 plus or minus 29 over 2. So now at this point, this is where I want to look and see, can I break 29 down any further? So hopefully you know that 29 is not a perfect square. If you type 29 in, you're going to get an irrational number. Also, though, 29, not going to be divisible by any of our perfect squares. Like it's not divisible by 4 or 9 or 16, obviously not 25. And after that, you're past all the bigger squares. So this doesn't factor any further. So in terms of exact answers, this is the exact answer to this problem, okay? Because you can't break this down any further. What I mean by that is let's say you had a different root. Let's say you had root of 40. 40 can be broken down further. You could break that down to 4 times 10, because 4 is a perfect square, and then you could write it as 2 root 10. So that's the type of thing I'm talking about if you've got one of those. But we don't, so you don't got to worry about that. Okay, so this would be our exact answer. This is actually perfectly fine. If you wanted to give a decimal answer, you can evaluate it too. So you could be like plus root 29, and then take that answer and divide it by 2. So, 6.2-ish. So remember that when we get to the graph. Actually, let's go ahead and just write it down. So we can say it's about 6.2. And then the subtraction answer, if we work that out, divide that by 2, it's about 0.81-ish. So those are our two approximate answers. So that's why I bring those up, because if you go to the graph, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to be able to get this. So, but the graph's awesome for checking things. So actually you can see I was doing it earlier. So I took this equation and I put it in my calculator. And if I graph it, and again, whether using the graph calculator or the Decimals app, actually the Decimals app's even easier to use. But the zeros we're looking for when this graph is 0 are at, you can see these are very reasonable. 0.8 looks right, as well as 6.2 looks right. But if you want to actually find them, you can go ahead and do the second trace and do intersect. And that's where they have us, or not intersect, sorry. We want zeros in this case. So 0. And this is where we're going to do the left bound, right bound, and guess. So, there's that same exact number we had earlier. And then if we do it again for a 0 over here, we can do the same thing. On the Decimals app, it's easier. You just honestly just click those spots and it just gives you the coordinate. So, but again, there's our 6.2 number right there. And so that kind of really ties it all together, is you got all these methods of solving. You know what I mean? We tried to factor it. This problem didn't factor it. We did quadratic formula. That gave us an exact answer. We can do graphing to get a rounded answer. You got a lot of routes you can go to do these correctly. And these are kind of all the main skills you're going to see on the quiz today. So hopefully that's pretty helpful. If I see you in the Google Meet, awesome. If not, good luck and have fun on that quiz.